Have you ever wondered what it looks like truly behind the scenes? I'm going to show you how it is that we actually source some of our old stuff and the work that goes into it. Keep watching. Would you look at what just showed up at our place? Many would see this as just trash. To us, this is treasure. This is a gold. It cannot be replaced or duplicated by something new. So much history to be told for future generations. So much life. I love my brother. He is awesome. So him and his son actually did the work of getting this trailer loaded for us. It's the last of the wood that he has left over from an old barn that was on a property that he was developing. So this particular barn has had 3 major construction build times on it. And that's just from what I've been able to decipher by looking at the actual cuts in the wood, the types of woods that were used, and the type of nails and hardware that were used. It's kind of cool when you're going through these old pieces, because old ranchers and old farmers, they used whatever it is that they had on hand to get the job done. This right here is an old scraper blade that they drilled through to fix this beam, because this beam had broken at one point in time. But that's what they did. That was their fix. They took an old scraper blade that's been broken, and you know, it's no longer good for farm equipment or road building. So yeah, let's fix the barn with it, shall we? This is actually from the last remodel, the last addition that was done on it. That was in about the 1950s. And we can tell that by the type of nails that were used and just the actual cut of the wood itself. Whereas a lot of these old rafter right here, this was sawn on an old steam power or water wheel circle mill. And you can tell that by the slight curved cut that's in here. So this was mechanically driven, but this is one of your early ones, and you can tell that by the different variations of how it cut while it was being fed through. And you can see the same cuts echoing throughout all of the old original pieces of this. It was taken down, and we are ending up with the last of it. In fact, we got another load that we need to go pick up. But first, we've got to finish taking care of this. So the original building was an old timber frame building, which is really cool. So it's a turn of the century original build. And you can see, just by how the grains are all popped up, that the age is far different than some of the other pieces that are in here. So a timber frame building, it's all notched and pegged together. There's no nails in it. And what they do, all of these are hand cut notches, and they fit precisely together with its matching piece. You take a brand new oak peg. So they take that and they pound that into the dried out wood that they made the timbers from. And as that peg dries up, it like sucks everything together super, super tight. And it's already tight as it is because these notches fit together perfectly. Well, it may have taken ages to finally get her done. But look at that beautiful, nice stack of 100-year-old wood. Oh my gosh, it's so awesome. This trailer is finally unloaded. There is so much metal everywhere. Like, we have to go get our magnetic roller out so that we can gather up all the nails that fell out. We have pounds and pounds of iron that came out of this wood. Now, if you've never pulled old rusty nails out of 100-year wood, it is not a job for the weak-hearted. You might be wondering what these are. These, my dear friend, are milking collars. It's what you use in an old dairy farm, or even a modern day dairy farm, so that you can milk your cows. These open up and they latch around the cow's neck and holds them firmly in place while you do the milking. Some of these look like they date to about 1911 up to 1930s. That's pretty cool. All right, so allow me to make a slight correction to what I said. I often refer to these amazing pieces of history as milking collars, but technically a milking collar is a collar, just like you would put on, say, your family pet. So technically, these are called stanchions, or often referred to as head gates or a locking head gate. These amazing pieces date between 1900 to 1950. Finally, the last one. I purposely put this one off to the side because it is seriously twice as heavy as all the others. This is a heavy booger. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Woo! That's awesome. That's our old gate. Now comes the wood part. These are all your old pine siding, tongue and groove, and these are really cool. Those are in beautiful shape too. There's some beautiful old wood. And then we've got all of your flooring deck. That's pretty cool. All this old 1x. Ooh, beautiful. So now it's time to get this loaded and ready to get back on the road. Now, just so you know, yes, all of this has nails in it. Nails everywhere. And as such, yes, I've got my tool belt back on, got my hammer. I'm not actually pulling the nails unless I have to. If I have to, yeah, I'll pull them. Otherwise, we're just getting the trailer loaded. But before I can go any further, I actually gotta go get my saw, because I gotta cut these down so they fit inside my trailer. We're gonna go get noisy now. Now, before we just haphazardly start cutting this down, we're going to come down to a decent sized length. Want to see? So my big brother is actually the one that said, hey Crystal, you gotta come out and check out this old Barnwood and come get some before it's all gone. And I'm like, I would love to, absolutely would love to. So he was developing the property and I'm the Barnwood builder here. So as soon as I had a chance to get down there, I finally made it. But in the meantime, he actually brought me our first big load from this old barn. Now this old barn was an old timber frame barn. Now, after about the turn of the century, timber frame building generally started to die off. And there's a little discrepancy on the exact date of the first part of this barn. The original part of the barn was first built somewhere between 1900 to about a 1911, maybe 1930s. So the old farmhouse was built around 1911. So we don't know if the barn came before the old house or if it came at the same time or just thereafter. So when you're dating wood and a building simply by the techniques that were used and the type of the cuts that went into the wood, sometimes there can be a very large variation on those dates. However, we do know a lot of hand tools were used on this. We know most of the original framing of this building was cut by an old circle saw mill that was either steam or water driven. And we can tell that by the way the cuts were made in the wood. All right, so we're walking down to the trailer. I have to admit, I was beat by the time I got done yesterday. So I didn't finish all my recording. I forgot to keep turning the camera back on. Oops. So.
Over there, honey, our house.
Yes.
I think you got the trailer from over there.
I did get the trailer from over there. So we're walking over to the trailer, and I'm going to show you what we did. Okay? So this is that first load that we had, and we stacked it up on this trailer. We got to get it covered up again. And there's a few pieces that we're still fighting with the hardware to get it off, and then we'll have those pieces up there. Then, in here, come here, Belle. We're raising the trailer up and down. Say, Mom should have put it up, huh?
A big one?
Yeah, okay. Want to see inside?
It's too heavy picking it up.
You want to see inside?
Yes.
Yes. Ah, there's a lot in here. Look at all that.
There's a big one. Hey, Mom. I saw a helmet in there.
Yeah, there was a helmet in here, huh?
There's a helmet in the right trailer.
So,
Okay.
got our old roofing boards in here, which is really cool. And these have actually weathered so nicely. There's only a little bit of dry rot on these. For the most part, these are good, solid boards still. And they've had a traumatic life.
Mom.
There's a lot of history in these
Mom.
boards.
Hey,
Yes.
there's a hanger in it.
Yes,
I
there
gotta get-
is.
I gotta-
No, you're not going to climb up there because you'll get a nail in your foot. Look, even right here. Little itty bitty nails. We got little tack nails everywhere.
Get this.
Let me show you carefully as I walk across here, especially where I don't have my work boots on. Let me show you some of these goodies up here. So there's a whole bunch of stuff up here too. Like we've got our old tan hide frames. Oh my gosh, these are so cool. And then underneath we have the milking collars. We've got our old screens. Oh, so cool. And look at all of the siding slips. So these were used for like your walls. This was like their version of sheetrock. And this is just really cool. Yeah. I'll tell you what, you're just itty bitty little strippings. But they are going to make some gorgeous jewelry boxes. So I already have plans for all of these little guys, and I think they're going to be absolutely stunning as I clean them up and I turn them down and turn these in to some amazing old Barnwood jewelry boxes that you're going to find in the shop. How cool is that? So there's a lot of work, so many nails to pull, but this is treasure. And every piece of this, the history gets to be saved, and it's just so cool. Like, look at those. Oh yeah. And by the time I got down all of these, like seriously, I should have like just had a weed whacker with me. Like, they were so overgrown in some areas from all the vines and everything. It was kind of nuts. And we'll see if we can make our way up. Like, look at the colors in that. Look how gorgeous that is. So pretty. Oh my gosh. Beautiful, beautiful old redwood. And cedars and pine. Oh, pretty. Oh, the colors are gorgeous. So all said and done, we've got probably 2 full days of just pulling nails, nothing else. Pulling nails and restacking the wood into its new place. And then we can actually get to work on cleaning it up and turning it into something new and beautiful again. You know, old to new. It's amazing. Love it. So the most common questions we receive with our wood shop is, how much of the original wood do we save? We have a few of these that we are setting off to the side that will not be touched. We won't be cleaning them. We won't be sealing them. Nothing. They are going to stay just as amazing and raw, natural as they are right now. Other items we'll pull off and we will go through and do what is called a conservation restoration on. Now, a conservation restoration is where you save the living history that is on the piece itself, and you clean it up, you seal it so that it preserves it for a longer time. Now, there's a couple different ways of doing a conservation restoration. Yes, I know, it's kind of a mouthful, right? A conservation restoration can be done where you leave all that rust that's on the metal and you just completely seal it in. Other times, such as the way I generally prefer to do it, we actually remove that rust and then seal it. Now, we're not trying to remove the history that is contained in that rust. We're trying to preserve the item itself, what is still there and available. By removing the rust, we preserve the lifetime of that object for even further than it would have been if we just sealed it with the rust on it. There's a couple of these other pieces that we will actually be doing a more modern take, redesign, restoration on, where we will strip it all down to bare metal, and then we will make it all bright and pretty and beautiful and add some color to it and make it look brand new again. But we will be altering the color in these designs. Now, I love to preserve as much of the history as we possibly can. So all those nicks, dings, and scratches that are in the metal, in the wood, we're not getting rid of that. We only just get rid of the rust. And it's a beautiful thing. It really is. And my friend, if you want to learn more about this barn build, wood, and the future decor and furniture and items and the jewelry boxes and everything else that we'll be making from this amazing piece of history that literally just comes from the other side of the hill at our neighbors, stay tuned. Why save history? History has the keys to our past, and that past is quickly being lost to the sands of time every day. Our history shows us when times get hard what we are actually capable of doing. It is our past, our present, and our future.